Okay, perfect. So I think we can start now. Everyone, welcome to our webinar to Visual Kit, and I'm really happy to show you today, the solution in practice at our customer project at the energy sector for the company Ivy, and we are really happy to show you how Visual Kit actually looks like in a current use case. My name is Bislinda. I'm a marketing specialist here at Active, and we want to show you with these webinars our solutions, our services, and provide you with information about in particularly our business solutions at the ServiceNow store. By my side, I have Martina. Martina is head of products here at Active. She's responsible for all the products and solutions, providing customized solutions or really supportive solutions for the ServiceNow platform. And I also have Björn. He's the senior software engineer and was particularly working with Ivy, and that's why he is the perfect candidate to show us today something about VisualKit and its job here at Ivy. So before we start, as you see, the webinar is being recorded because we want to show everyone our solution and share it also on our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, just write in the chat. We will gather them and also answer them after the webinar. And I think we can start, and I hand over to Martina.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Miss Linda. Happy to be here. Who are we and who is Arctiv? We are a company. We are situated in Switzerland and we optimize processes and implement digital solutions for our customers, everything based on ServiceNow. We are happy to be a long-term ServiceNow partner and support all of our implementations and solutions with the in-house built business apps, business solutions, ServiceNow store apps, call it as you want. Our solutions are characterized by high performance, user friendliness, and our USP is that we really know about the business challenges our customers have. So that know-how is highly shared within our team. So let's take a quick look at the agenda. We will start with VisualKit and what makes this app as awesome as it is. Then we will switch to the challenges we have in the network processes and see a use case in reporting. After that, we will have this all of this shown in a demo and still have time for a few questions and an exchange. Okay, what's so special about VisualKit? VisualKit helps you to see all your data in a very nice way so that you can clarify the relationships between the data and see how they belong to each other. We get transparency and also a hierarchical structure that shows us how the data is related. This makes us more efficient. So these clear structures help also to work faster and at least not to make any mistakes. It helps also to get easy data handling. So complex connections can be shown, and complex connections are, I guess, the main thing that you will find in your ServiceNow platform. So that's also why it helps a lot. Reliability, everything is based on your ServiceNow data. So VisualKit just visualizes everything. You can rely on all the things you see. VisualKit is a ServiceNow store app. It's certified by ServiceNow. So that means that we ensure all the ServiceNow releases are compatible with our app. And of course, all of our changes or new features within the app also get certified by ServiceNow. So we are really connected with our colleagues and make sure that VisualKit just yeah, relies on all the things it must. We have 3 features within VisualKit: the tree, the timeline, and the scorecard. The tree helps to display data in a very complex structure. It's limitless, so that you can really show all the relationships and the whole data structure you may have. Then we have the timeline, which shows current or interconnected processes. It's possible to see events that happened maybe once, which is on the upper side of the screenshot. You can make visible on which day events happened, but you can also show larger periods in time, which is mentioned at the bottom of the screenshot. So there's a possibility to really see where you are in your process, what took how long, and so on. The scorecard summarizes information so that from a large amount of data, you can just get summed up what you need to know. You can also work with highlights and colors so that you see with one look where you need to take action. Okay. So that was it with a rough overview of VisualKit. I would like to give the word to Björn, and he will make the connection to our business use case.
Thank you. That was a great introduction to VisualKit. Thank you for that. And I'd like to introduce you to the actual challenge we were facing at AEW. Well, there's a lot of requests that can be made to an energy provider like AEW. There are, for example, the technical connection requests, installation requests, and also like temporary grid connections, etc. So all those requests are connected to a connection object. Usually, that's like a building or a house. Can also be something else, but usually it's a house. So there's always the challenge of the overview. So how do you look at a connection object? What is actually going on it right now? What are the open requests, etc.? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And also, it's not helping that since we are in the age of digitalization, there are more and more requests coming every day. So this kind of made it less transparent for the clerks that were working with those requests and admitting them. And that was the overall problem. So the people, the clerks couldn't like identify all the data that they needed to see. So we had one specific challenge at the beginning, and it was the challenge of the installation request. So usually there's a technical connection request before an installation request, and after the technical installation request, the installation request is just the asking for permission to build something there, like connecting a photovoltaic, photovoltaic collector. And this is a pretty common use case here in Switzerland. People are building those photovoltaic collectors on their roofs, and there's always the question on how does the building look, and can we actually provide an option for the installer to give back some energy into the grid. And this question always needs to be answered before anything can be permitted to install. There's also a lot of other questions that need to be answered before anything can be approved, but this one was kind of the main question. So how did we try to answer this? We actually had the problem of the overview and everything, and that the people also had to click through a lot of requests and data objects to actually collect their information they needed. We went to Ivy and provided them the solution of Visual Kit, where they could display the hierarchical data in the simple tree. It provided a powerful solution to the problem that could have other ways most probably not been solved. So how does the Visual Kit simple tree look like? I'm going to show you in the demo. For that, I'm going to change to the browser. And as you can see, I'm already on the ServiceNow instance. I'm already impersonated as the Sicherheitsberater. That's the German word for the clerk. I'm also on the task list of the clerk. So this is I actually can show it to you. So the person starts the day by opening the work dashboard. Please mind that this is a German customer and some words are not actually translated into English. So if you're seeing something that doesn't make sense to you, it's because the customer is actually using the instance completely in German. Just for this demo, I've changed the language of the persona to English so that most of the things can be understood. So the clerk usually starts its day on the dashboard. And as you can see here, there's also already a small overview of what's going on. There are a few requests, there are some tasks, some reports, some stats, etc. But usually they start by opening their tasks. And as you can see here, there are already 3 tasks open. We are going to continue on the installation request 2034. And there's actually currently the task open of Messeinrichtung. This means that the clerk has to check how's the environment there at the connection object, and can they actually provide the option to give back the power into the grid. So how would this task look like if it were used or worked on the conventional way? So first we start by having a look at the request. We can open that in a new tab. After that, we always have some time to load. That's usual with ServiceNow, since it's an internet-based application. So there's always a little bit of time that you have to wait for an object to load. So after that, we can inspect the request. We can have a look at the connection, at the process control, at the applicant who applied the installation request. We also have a lot of other data down here. We have, for example, the meters that are going to be built in or that are currently there and need to be changed, whatever. So let's have a look at how it's currently looking. So what's the current object data? So we go there and open the connection object, also in a separate tab. So, and as you can see here, there's already some data, but there's no information about the consumption points directly or anything, the device locations. It's all down here. As you can see here, I also already have to open this one, then the next connection consumption point. And in here, I can see the technical installations. I can open this one too. And I see, okay, there's already just a technical installation. There's also some electrical facilities that also contain some meters. So now, as you can see, after a few clicks, I'm at the destination of my query. So as you can see here, there's some information about the meter, some information about the facility, and there's actually a lot of data to gather. So if I want to answer my question here, can we continue here? I need to check all those objects before we can actually continue. And that's really a lot to do. So we thought, how could we solve that? And we actually came up with a solution. That's the E2050 cockpit. I'm going to show you that in a bit. before that, I also want to show you another nice feature of VisualKit. There's this cockpit here. That's the cockpit light, as we call it internally. It's already a little overview of what's happening there. As you can see here, there's the connection. There's also the device location, all of those consumption points I recently opened. As you can see, also the technical installation with the electrical facility and the connected meters. And something I didn't open was the contract. You can also see there's more data than I was actually looking for. So this cockpit here, this mini cockpit, is already implemented with VisualKit. So yeah, that's a little nice overview, but as you can see here, there's some information, but not everything. Since I know that to actually provide this energy or allow it to allow the customer to provide the energy to the grid, I need to create another consumption point for that. So this can't be done here. Usually this can be done by opening a related list, clicking new and continuing. But that's also kind of, hard to do and also not that user-friendly to explain that to the people. So, hey, you need to open the related list, click on new, continue there. We solved that challenge in the E2050 cockpit. So as you can see here, there's already more information. As you can see in the cockpit light, you can see that there are some battery requests already running, or one was canceled actually here. Then there's the installation request we are currently looking at or looking at. There's also, again, the consumption points with the contract and the meters and the technical installation, electrical facility, etc. We can also see here that this 1 meter is actually inactive. We use some highlighted values for that. And we use those specifically to highlight like exceptions. So if there's something exceptional, we can actually mark that and the clerk can see it in one view. So, okay, that's nice. I actually gathered all the information I need. I saw, okay, this is fine. I need another consumption point on this connection object. I can do it by using a simple tree action. I just click there and as you can see here, there's already opening a new form to create a new consumption point. So how do I fill this out? That was actually also a pretty good question from the customers. So we went and created some templates for the customer. So he doesn't have to remember all of that configurations. For example, for a Einfamilienhaus, that's a single family household, or a multiple family household, etc. Those are all different configurations, and it's kind of hard to remember all of them, even for experts. And so we summarized 5 of the most used ones, and yeah, we actually need this one, Produktionsmesser und Chronovo, for enabling the return into the grid of the energy. So we actually applied this one, and I know that we also have to fill out this data here. So this is going to be first floor or second floor, basically. And it also has a fuse of 25 kilovolt ampere. And yeah, everything else is filled out. And now also comes a really important part of VisualKit, because what happens if you create some new data and it doesn't show up? I mean, there's like a discrepancy that shouldn't be allowed. So we went ahead and also included this in our use case, that if somebody creates some data within an object that is currently displayed in a simple tree, it automatically reloads the data and displays the data immediately. So as I click here, the creation of the consumption point always takes a few seconds, but that's usual to ServiceNow. And as you can see here, there's the consumption point somewhere. So did it show up? So Perfectly. Now it's there. I just clicked on save and it was there. Great. And as you can see, it's already here. So in this situation, I'm done with my task. I had an overview of this. I checked that everything is in order. I could have also like opened the consumption point here, a new tab, and also gathered a little bit more detailed information if I actually needed that, but that's usually not the case for the clerks. But there's also the option to do it. So now, since I'm done, I'm going to return to my task and actually close all those tabs because I don't need them anymore. And I'm going to continue to the next task. So I'm going to proceed anyway. Since we are in a test system, this message is always displayed in the test system, just to be sure. And now we can also see a little brief preview of another business solution that we have right here. That's actually the approval of the installation request, but this doesn't matter right now. So this is the job of someone else. So one thing I'd like to quickly show you too is on the installation request itself. There's also the cockpit again, the cockpit light, as you can see here, and also a link to the cockpit again. So there's actually a simple reason for that. We went ahead and built the simple tree configuration here, and the customer came to us and said, hey, it would be nice to have this not only on the task itself, but also on the request. Because sometimes you can just come back to the request and want to see how's the environment looking right now. Can I like answer a question on the phone to the clerk, to the customer? And yeah, that was also a use case. So we actually went ahead and reused the same configuration we used for the task, and with just basically no additional configuration, we were able to also display the cockpit light with the same configuration as it was on the task. Also, the link is also possible to integrate everywhere, since the data is actually gathered gathered always the same. So this is also one really big helpful thing, that we can reuse configurations. So you can always think of a use case and implement it right away. But if there's another similar use case coming up in the future, you can just reuse your configuration without investing a lot of time into readjustment. So this was also a really important part for the development of the E2050 cockpit. Great. So since you all have seen a brief introduction into Visual Kit and seen where it could have been applied, I also want to mention quickly that all those configurations can also be displayed in the service portal for end users, for customers. In our case with Ivy, there was no need for that, because the customer actually doesn't need to know how the environment looks there, because the customer is actually somebody like an inspector or an installer, not the private person itself. So we actually didn't have this use case yet, but there's always the option to integrate it in the service portal. And yeah, exactly. That's all from me for now. So I'm going to give it back to Martina. Thank you for listening. And
thank you, Björn, for showing us all the very interesting features you built here and for clicking through the instance and the use case. I would just sum up how you could move on from here now. You can already get started if you're interested in Visual Kit and to see how the app would function in your instance. Please just download the free test version. The trial is available for 3 months. It works on your instances except for the productive instance, you can get it in the ServiceNow store, and we will send you the link so that you don't have to search it. After that, maybe during these 3 months or maybe after it, we're very happy to help you. So if you need assistance in getting all the value that VisualKit could give you, we're happy to help. So after understanding what your use cases are, we would like to show you in a free demo what the possibilities are. And if you decide to proceed with the VisualKit license, then we're happy to help you. Everything works easily in the ServiceNow store. You get a 12-month license, and the renewal is also ensured in the ServiceNow App Store, so that everything is very easy and lean and understandable for you. And of course, also after the purchase, we're here to help anytime, so you can contact us, and you would also benefit from all the future features and of course all the future ServiceNow releases, as for example Zurich, which is the next one coming up. So you can just trust in the ServiceNow App Store and in Arctiv that the app will be supported by the newest release. Okay, we have, of course, also other solutions. The one we saw before with a quick glimpse was No-Code PDF. No-Code PDF helps us build beautiful and dynamic PDFs in your individual corporate design. So that was that confirmation letter you saw real quick before. No limits in creating PDFs here. So we're very happy also to talk about this app. We then have Portal Pro, another app that helps us build something for you, especially portals. We get to very quick and nice portals that are built on the newest technologies. Then we have our two supporting apps, Deployment Guide and DevOps Users. Deployment Guide helps us to document what happens on the instances and how the deployments went through. And DevOps Users is the app that helps us monitor in real time the state of the instances and also in the whole area of operations. That was it from me. So I think I can give the word back to Bislinda. We have 1 minute left. Perfect time for closing.
Perfect. Thank you, Björn and Martina, for this really, really interesting webinar to VisualKit, showing the benefits of VisualKit and also seeing VisualKit in action at our company, Ivy. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. I see in the chat there's no questions, so I guess we can end this. But if you do have any questions, just answer our webinar mails. We send you at the email visualkit@arctiv.ch, so you can always ask questions, and we can also schedule an appointment for showing you VisualKit also in person. So thank you very much, and have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.